Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan, back again with another football podcast. We are here today with a very special guest, but before I introduce him, I know what you're thinking, lads. Yes, Ahmed has come to pay for his sins. Yo! Look at what's going on. He's already. You love to see it.
Listen,
guys.
I'm ready.
Ahmed, we start with you. But how are you feeling, Ahmed? How are you feeling? You good? Everything all right?
I'm feeling
Life good.
a lot better. What's a lot? I'm recovered.
Oh, when you messaged me on Monday. In fact, you didn't message me on Monday. You messaged me on Tuesday. I thought you might have died. To be fair, like it's not like you to not to text me.
I went offline, man. That was it, man.
Fully turned everything off. Also, we've got Kish joining us here. You know, Harry Kane with that late winner once again. Kish, how you feeling, mate? Spurs winning the league.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, to be fair. It's even better that obviously the local rivals, Mikel Pulis, at it again. Life is not bad at the moment, for a Spurs fan. It's all right, to be fair.
Oh, God. And obviously, Lawrence, we did mention before the quiz, which we will talk about at the end of the show. But, yes, look, man, getting you the points in the end, really. But how you feeling, Lawrence, man?
Yeah. Happy with the 3 points. It was a hard game to watch. It was tough. It was tough to break down. But yeah, thankfully, like I said, that penalty come after the added time, so justice prevailed. And Lookman, I think he knew that we was being, hard done by there, and he was like, no, this shouldn't be, and he done us a favour. So good on Lookman.
He goes to sleep in West Ham pyjamas, and definitely, that kind of penalty. And obviously, Daniel, your team's the only team that's fully flying at the moment, really, in terms of performances, goals, the whole lot. Obviously, Kepa's not in that, so it always helps. But yeah, Daniel, how you feeling, bro? You're muted, brother. You're muted.
All good. No, but feeling good. I think it's really indicative of the fact that, remember when I was telling you the Man United game, I said when we finish this season, I'm gonna always look back to the Man United game where I saw Lampard go into the game with a game plan to be defensively solid, not to concede, and we're seeing that same trend. Every single game we're playing, it's not to concede, defense first, and then the attack will do the business. And we're doing that right now. So I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, say no more. Okay, and like I said, special guest all the way from Argentina, Alejandro. Alex, how you doing, brother? You guys?
Yeah, steady on there. I'm not quite in Argentina. I'm in Manchester, but it feels just as foreign from Sheffield. Yeah.
Say no more. Well, listen, we're going to start with the Manchester City v Liverpool game, of course, finishing 1-1. A few controversial incidents within the game, but Alex, we allow you to have your say first and foremost as a Manchester City fan. What were your thoughts on the game and how you kind of approached it?
Well, to be honest, going into it, I was kind of hoping for an easy little win. With Van Dijk being injured and then being shaky at the back, all season. So I thought maybe we could, abuse them a bit, but it wasn't to be. Even though half of their defenders went off injured, still couldn't break them down. There's some sloppy play from City. But I tell you what, that Jesus goal was something special. I don't know if you've all caught a glimpse of that. Oh.
No, I've seen it. I watched the full game.
It wasn't like their camp, but it was nice. I had to throw that in there. I had to, man.
Oh, God.
But anybody thinking that he's not as good as Aguero, I think he's just proven to everybody now.
No.
He's got what it takes.
No.
Yeah. He can finish.
Nah, man.
No,
that's like comparing Henry to Walcott. Like, I'm not even joking.
That's a bit of a disgrace to Walcott. You don't really.
Yeah. On form.
Oh God, no! Surely not, Alex. Surely not.
Nah, he was at least the best Brazilian striker on the pitch. I thought Firmino has gone down the pan. He is dead. They've got a rubbish Brazilian goalkeeper as well. They need to time themselves. Say who they really support. They should be City fans. Anyway.
To be fair, I agree with them. The best Brazilian on the pitch. It's not hard when Firmino doesn't score in it. So it is what it is, isn't it? But let's bring you in. Obviously, you know a lot about these big kind of games and performing in them. So what are your thoughts, Ahmed, on the big game of the weekend, brother?
Yeah. All right. First of all, yeah, the elephant in the room. Yeah, what happened to Kevin De Bruyne? Like, generally speaking, he gave the assist. Yeah, so I'm waiting for that. But obviously, that penalty.
Assist. We just passed it 4 yards.
Hey! I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Just give a bit of like defense in it, but still, what happened with that penalty?
I want him to score so badly as well. I'm so pissed off. Oh my God.
That was peak. I thought at least hit the target, but like he didn't seem like he was ready to take the step up, anyways. But Kevin De Bruyne, he's still quality, but Gabriel Jesus, obviously that was a nice goal. Like I said, not like Dennis Bergkamp, but still, he's I would not compare him to Aguero because he's not really like that number 9 yet to that would actually fill that hole for Aguero because your team is still slacking a bit of goals, and with the chances created, he's not really been that clinical. So you know what, towards like the halfway through the second half, it looked like both teams weren't really like trying to go for it. They were like okay with the draw. So it's like, back in the day, these big games, it's like whoever won would win the league. And you know what I mean?
Arsenal, Man U, man, it used to be massive back then.
Yeah, back in the day, man. But obviously, like with this game, you can't really.
Before you, Moose, as well, way back.
We're both dead now. We're both dead. That's so good.
Yeah, it's been a while, but still though, like it wasn't the most entertaining game. Yeah, like
really?
both teams.
What? After that first half.
Yeah, still, man.
After that first half was really good, man. Like,
I'm talking about the second half. Like,
I agree completely.
It's like we both just sat back. That's why I wasn't satisfied. Yeah, I wasn't satisfied because it could have been like a cheeky 2-1 at the end. But obviously, both sat back.
Tell you what, that's coming from an Arsenal fan that their manager put 9 players behind the ball against a dead Man United team. So,
kick back, fam. Kick back. I'm not in the title race.
But it's true though, isn't it? You can't talk about being dead when your manager plays 9 on the back against us.
All right, listen, just wait until it's Arsenal's turn, innit? It's my fate for right now, innit?
All right, you should have just gone with Arsenal first.
No, I'm just saying, man. But let's bring it to you. Obviously, you can't switch upon Kevin De Bruyne. I know yourself and Daniel in particular mentioned. Obviously, we'll allow you to, sort of come back, Alex. But you guys were mainly talking about the clutch moments. De Bruyne doesn't do it in the big games. Penalty aside, because of course anyone can miss a penalty. Messi's missed loads, and you can name loads of players that missed them. What did you make of his performance, and do you feel like it kind of reiterated the point you were making a couple of weeks ago?
I mean, just as a quick side point, that first half of football was probably the best I've seen all season by any two teams. Like by far, and I think that just proves why people are saying.
Did you know what you lot beat us 4-1 in the first half?
I know, but I'm just saying. No, but I'm just saying in terms of two teams, obviously.
Two teams,
I think that game, that first half, just showed that if any of these two teams turn it on, they will comfortably, in my opinion, beat any other team in the Prem, and that includes Chelsea and Spurs. I can't lie. If they turn it on, I can see them absolutely dominating the opposition. But I think that also shows the frailties as well in the second half, because I think both of the teams offered too much respect to each other in that second half. I think after the first half, the managers were like, "Whoa, what's going on here? Like this is too open." And to be fair, it was there for City, for the taking that game. To be honest, although in the second half, it was more of a stalemate. I still think City had the better of the chances. I think Jesus had a really good opportunity. I think it was a header in the 60th minute or something, which, to be fair, he has to hit the target from there. I don't know how he's not at least hit the target. It was for someone of Aguero standards, that should be that should be a goal, as simple as. But in general, for De Bruyne, listen, my debate on De Bruyne is simple. Do I think he's a world-class player? Yes. He's done it season in, season out. But if you're going to criticize players like, say, Harry Kane over not turning up on big games, the same has to be said for Kevin De Bruyne. When was the last time that you can say about Kevin De Bruyne where in a big game where it's mattered, where they need someone to do something, he's done it? Be honest. Give me a game. Give me a game.
Right.
Go on.
So I think it was when Conte was at Chelsea, they just won the Premier League. City away at Chelsea. The game is stale. Not many goals. De Bruyne just runs through the middle of the park, smashes it top corner, wins the game.
Yeah, 1-0.
I mean, he's got world-class quality.
Was that the deciding factor to you towards you winning the league? Because the second season,
I believe it was. Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is Conte won the league with Chelsea that season, but then the next season they drifted. They weren't even challenging for the league. They won the FA Cup, but they weren't challenging. But what I'm saying is but what I'm saying is they weren't your main competitors that season. You comfortably won the league that year by far. Like that was the season where United came second and lost the league by about 18 points. So what I'm saying is last season when it was against Arsenal in the semis of the FA Cup, did he turn up? No. Champions League against Lyon, did he turn up? No.
You can say that about Sterling as well. Like,
no, I'm saying don't get me wrong. I'm saying that about Sterling, but what I'm saying is,
De Bruyne did it for Belgium, though.
Yeah. I know, but again, he did it for Belgium. But did Belgium win anything from it? They got to the semi-finals. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, which is what England did. Same thing as what England did.
Let me tell you something. I think De Bruyne done a lot of the time by Guardiola's tactics of playing two negative, like mediocre midfielders behind him. So he has to do all the running, all the ball work. And by the time he gets into those good positions, sometimes his final ball ain't there. You know, but when he's got the freedom, he delivers like a.
But see, that's my question to you. So when you're playing teams like a Burnley or mid-table teams, when he has time on the ball, there's not any midfielders, in my opinion, currently in world football that are better than him. When he has time on the ball, he pings it. He finds spaces which no other midfielder can find at the moment. But then against these big teams where it's the big games where you haven't got as much time on the ball, such as in European games or against Liverpool where it's press. He seems to want that extra touch, and every time he goes for that extra touch, he either loses the ball or it's a mispass. He does this all the time in the bigger games, and I think Daniel will probably have something similar to say, or at least something to be critical in that way.
Let's bring you in, and then Lawless, you can speak from the Liverpool perspective, because I know you're a massive Liverpool fan as well.
Let me. I want to do it quickly, innit? Because I speak about it every time now, and I'm even tired of it. Let me break it down. Usmaan doesn't give the full picture. KDB is the best player in the league, and that's a fact. I understand that. Everyone should understand that he's a world-class midfielder, best player in the league. Exactly, literally. Like, no one can take that away from him. My point is, he's a different type of best player in the league. He's not a talisman. I don't think he's someone, when the game is tight and you need someone to break the deadlock, I don't think he's that guy. You mentioned the Chelsea game, which, even if I want to give that point to you, how many seasons ago was that? Tell me when a game has been tight and he said, "I'm taking the game."
I think he has, though. Like, his delivery, but he's got crucial assists.
If I bring up, let's look at recency against Leeds. That 1-1 game where the game was literally stretched. You would even say that's a Kevin De Bruyne game. Look how much space there was in that game for him to say, all right, cool, I'm going to dominate this game and be the guy that changes this game. Doesn't happen. If we look at the game against, I believe it was West Ham. That West Ham game was, as in, like, that game was there for the taking as well for Man City. But who was it that changed the game for them? It was Phil Foden. Surprise, surprise. There's a number of games.
Ask an Arsenal fan about Kevin De Bruyne. Moose, let's just bring you in quickly.
Of course. But my criticism before Moose comes in, though, like, my criticism of Kevin De Bruyne is, it's not. I don't know if you want to take it as criticism, but I just think he's probably one of the best front runners. He's very good when your team is dominating, and he's the outstanding player in a dominating team.
Isn't that what people always say about Messi? I mean,
nah.
Messi can change a game on its head on his own. De Bruyne can't do that.
And the last point is,
he has to.
No, he hasn't, man.
There was something interesting you even said.
How many assists did he get last year? What, touching 20? What did he get? 26.
I couldn't.
20 assists. And how many points behind Liverpool were there last season with his 20 assists?
Yeah, but it's not his fault, though.
But what I'm trying to say,
I'll go back to the point that, like, when Kevin De Bruyne doesn't play with the right midfielders, when he doesn't have midfielders that, like, complement him, if he's not playing with Phil Foden, he doesn't play as well.
Exactly. No, that's the point, though. He's a different. Yeah. He's a different type of best player in the world. He's not
Yeah.
someone when you give him scraps, he can change the game for you. He's someone
Like Gerrard. He's not like a Gerrard. He's not like a Gerrard.
But you're comparing him to the best and the best. Though.
No, but I'm just saying. No, but
he is the best of the best.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, I completely hear what you're saying, right? But I think Daniel, where you're coming from as a Chelsea fan, I generally think this is what you're thinking. Is you're comparing him to Hazard in your head, because Hazard done that time and time again when they're different players. Like
Usmaan.
He has a different type of impact. I do agree. But he still does come up with clutch moments.
I'm not.
Think so,
Let's even forget the Hazard thing. Let's even simplify the debate even more, just so that we can get a picture of it. When it comes to the best players we've ever seen, are you going to put KDB in that category?
No. In the Premier League, surely.
No. Usmaan just said no, and the reason why you said no is because of that clutch team. You don't think he can turn a game on its head. But then when you look at guys. Would you put KDB in the Lampard Gerrard category in terms of clutchness?
No, obviously not. I wouldn't.
They're different sorts of players.
You could even make the argument that KDB has a better skill set than those two guys, but Lampard and Gerrard were able to win games. That's my point. I don't think KDB wins you games. He's not someone that will win you games. It's literally the comparison I made with Pogba. When you put Pogba in a team where he has the perfect circumstances, then he will thrive. It's the same thing with KDB. Give Pogba David Silva and Fernandinho when they were playing at their prime. You think Pogba wouldn't be getting double-digit goals and assists?
Put Pogba in that City team. Put Pogba in that City team, and he'll get the same numbers that De Bruyne did. He'll get the same number De Bruyne gets. Simple.
I'm not trying to take away from his talent. He is the best player in the world. Like I said, I just think that when it comes to the best of the best, because it is clutching at straws or trying to make debates to separate. I don't think he's there.
Let's bring Lawless in. Obviously, got to talk about Liverpool as well, because we've barely mentioned them. First and foremost, brilliant start by Liverpool as always. The formation threw me off completely. Went for a 4-2-4. Lawless, what were your thoughts on the manner in which Klopp kind of approached the game?
Yeah, it's a weird one, because going into that always seems to be like a game like neither side really want to lose, because it is such a key fixture, so there's a little element of cautiousness at first. But yeah, it's a weird one with Liverpool, because with the injuries they're having, everyone's expecting them to fall off, and they just keep moving forward. And now they've obviously got Gomez out. I'm interested to see if they can keep moving forward again. And obviously Jota, he's becoming a huge find for them. Not a find really, because Wolves found him, but a huge, a really important signing. And maybe it's time that he gets in ahead of Firmino on a regular basis, because he was on the bench for a while, where you're thinking why is this guy on the bench? He's literally scoring for fun. But it's such a weird one in terms of the league for these two teams, because you just can't predict it. And yeah, if Klopp can do something this season with these injuries, then it's going to be interesting. But obviously he's complaining about fixture pile up and this.
Lawless, can I ask you a question? So you said regarding the injuries, obviously last season Laporte was the main injury, and by all means I completely accept that as an excuse for why they didn't perform to level. If Klopp does it this year, if he does it this season with his defense, does that automatically make him better than Pep? Because he's got both his centre backs injured. I'm just throwing it out there.
But he's got to do it in multiple leagues of multiple teams like Pep. If you look at it career-wise, Pep has probably had a better career over the long term. Do you know what I mean? He's doing it.
Dan, Premier League though, this is a big year. If Klopp wins the league over Pep,
it will make him currently, if you're looking at form or managers on form,
also money spent, Dan. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
I think people downplay how much money that they have spent because of the whole net spend thing, but they still have brought in.
I get that, but
hundreds of £1 million of talent.
But if you base it on what Pep spent on the City defense compared to what Klopp spent on his whole team, that is a shambles. Come on, man! We can't disagree with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Look, if
I-
Liverpool win the league and Man City win the Champions League, then cool, that's calm.
Yeah,
That's what Pep came in to do. But if Pep doesn't win the Premier League or the Champions League, boy, serious questions, man. Serious questions.
Yeah, and
It's a tough one. Like Aguero's injured as well, though. It's a tough one. It looks like did he miss the game because he got injured in our game?
did.
Yeah, he went off injured. Yeah.
Again, that's my opinion on that. How can you have a 32/33-year-old striker and not replace him? You know, the only other
Yeah, I
striker
don't
you've
know.
got is Jesus. Aguero looked out of shape even when he came back into the team so far this season. He looked like he put on extra timber.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, we're just trying to play a different way though, with Ferran Torres or Sterling playing up front. It's just a new dynamic football we're trying to play. Yeah.
It's an interesting one because
I got a question. Sorry to interrupt you, Lawrence.
Yeah, go.
Because there's about 5-6 people. I'm assuming they're your mates, Alex. Because give me some rate shit in the comments. It's just literally all.
Who's the blonde lads?
literally all comments about Alex, and literally you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. So I'm assuming they're your mates. But obviously, Lawrence, you can answer this as well. So obviously, this is directed to you, Alex, and obviously, Lawrence, I'll pass it to you as well if it comes up on screen. Can the Man City fan answer? Not that his name's not there, it's all good. What he thinks will happen if Aguero runs his contract down, as well as Peps. So obviously, we'll pass it to you, Alex, and then obviously, Lawrence, you can obviously say as well. So what are your thoughts on that? Because we've kind of mentioned Aguero there roughly.
Yeah, I mean, if Aguero goes back, I think I'd want him to go back to Argentina. I want him done in English football. I want him just to be remembered for that Aguero goal, you know, the greatest ever moment in Premier League history. And then you can bow out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And with Pep Guardiola, I'd be happy for a new manager. To be honest, at the end of last season, after we went out of the Champions League, I was not happy with Pep. It seems every season that he just makes really daft tactical decisions at crucial moments. So you know what? If we get a fresh brain, it might do us some good.
Okay, fair enough. Right, and Lawrence, just to come off this topic, what are your thoughts on Pep? Do you the amount of comments in here, but it's just
Moose is getting ripped.
What are they saying?
Moose looks stressed like oh, Moose, my brother, yeah. Oh, Archie, my brother, Archie's bust. Arsenal as well. So, yeah, Lawrence, what do you think about Pep? Do you think he's going to leave come end of the season?
It's a tough one because I feel like for the past couple of seasons or whatever, like people have been saying, yeah, Pep's going to leave, and maybe it's wishful thinking from rival fans. But I mean, maybe this could be the season, and like you know, Alex was saying, it might not be the worst thing because I think maybe you do need a shake up and need someone to come in with fresh ideas to just change things up a bit because sometimes that complacency can creep in, and obviously they've been trying to go for that Champions League and. Maybe they can get someone else to come in and like I said, with a new approach and can attack that Champions League. So if he does, as long as they can replace him with the right guy and not someone's assistant coach or whatever who puts the cones out. You know.
Oh, what a beautiful segment. Oh, it's absolutely world class.
Ripped up.
Right. Listen, let's pass it on to the cone putter. Yeah, listen. I feel like I'm going to let you speak first because otherwise.
I don't mind. No, I don't mind.
Listen, everyone in the chat and Archie, who always chatting shit to you, is an Arsenal fan. I want you to be the chat as well. I'm passing to you first. 3-0, right? Let me just set the scene for you. 3-0. Obviously, you know, none of your players want to tackle Grealish or Barkley. You know, he's on loan from Chelsea. Man can't even get into Chelsea's bench, let alone on the pitch. They both ripped you apart. You had a goal disallowed in the first minute. You didn't learn from that. Listen, Ahmed, man, just talk to me, brother, man. Just talk to me. Let it out. What are your thoughts, brother?
Dead. That was the most dead performance I've seen. But obviously, it's you can't even say it's a bad day in the office because we were dead like throughout the full 90 minutes. But I'm not gonna lie, the only thing I can say, the only thing I can say is in our defense, when Partey did come off, who's to blame? I'll get onto that. But when Partey got taken off, we were struggling, and then I rate him, but still he was exposed in that game. And obviously Bellerin, he needs to. I got nothing against vegans. I like vegan food and all that sort of stuff. I got nothing against vegans at all. But maybe have a little bit of fish or something, because Grealish, the way he just was a shoulder bars, man, was flying.
Left him on the deck,
Grealish as well. He falls over all the time. He's muscling off Bellerin.
I can't believe it. You don't understand. But obviously, and also Holding, that was the most embarrassing. That was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen at football for so long. What was he doing? Just stood there like dancing, like a little tap. What was going on? I was stressed, man.
Man said, "Okay, how long?"
Barkley joined in. With the legs like I can't be sure, but no. It was dreadful. And obviously Arteta is back to the drawing board. On a level, he needs to change the system. He needs to obviously. All I'm saying is free OZIL, free Saliba. What
system is Arteta currently deploying apart from 10 man behind the ball? What other system has he got?
Obviously he does not trust his defenders. That's why we're playing with 5 at the back.
Okay, listen.
We got a defensive. I'm not getting at it. Listen here. When we switched to it during lockdown, we started to perform better. We started to gain momentum, bit of confidence. It built up to the FA Cup run, drawing board. What's the system? This guy.
Solid 7-2-1 formation.
Moose, do you trust the process? Do you trust the process? I have to ask you that.
Of course.
Because that's what I keep hearing. All right, so if you trust the process, the process, why are you telling me he has to change it? Why does he have to change it? Because you, but why? Because you trust. No, but it is the process. No, it's the process, isn't it? What he's doing is you can't tell him if you trust the process. You can't tell him he needs to change because this is part of the process. Yeah. So you can't. You have to sit back and let him do what he's doing.
I'm patient, but obviously you need to kick back at it. Oh, you man, you wanna. Obviously, we're a little bit exposed the way that we're playing, so we have to change it up. We can't be too predictable in it. So just a wee bit, what I'm saying. But obviously, I lost my train of thought, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's bring some.
Am I interrupting though? Am I interrupting though? I want you to know.
No. I want you to have to say first because I know what's gonna come in it. So basically, let me read a couple. I haven't got it at the top of my head, but a couple of stats for you, because all I've ever said on the show, right? The amount of Arsenal fans that tweeted me after the Man United game, "Oh, X, Y, Z, look at Man United, you're dead." Yes, I know it's shit.
Yeah.
But
good.
All I've ever said, Arteta defensively has improved. That's all I've ever said. And Cage can vouch for me. Way back, even when he first came in, I was saying he can't attack to save his life. Let me give you a couple of stats. Maguire's had more shots than Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Oh wow, this guy!
Wow,
you're a nerd. We're a nerd.
Don't worry.
Why?
In open play in over 6 hours, man went to flipping Italy and back, and you still haven't scored from open play. Fucking hell, you got Nicholas Peps on the bench. For Willian, who got 2 assists, and you loaded him the next Roberto Carlos on that wing. Man was like gassing him after that Fulham victory, and they're like, "Yo, we got a bad boy signing." And Daniel was like, "Raw, what are you talking about? This guy's dead." You were gassing him. You got Nicholas Pepe on the bench.
Yes, defensive duties. I'll keep repeating it. Defensive duties, bro. That's all it is, fam.
Listen, the best thing Orban's done this season was violate Tony Cruz on Twitter today. That's the only good thing he's done. But listen, Daniel, I'll pass it to you, my brother. Obviously, let you have your say on, obviously, some other that's 2.0, innit?
Literally, look. I mean, there's a word in Spanish called complicado, and that's currently what Arteta's face. Like, everything is complicated. He's infusing this Pep style of having a 5 at the back when we're defending, 4 at the back when we're attacking. This hybrid system that you put into players that you trust and when.
I'm getting violent, though. Really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be non-biased.
It throws you off, doesn't it?
You carry on, don't worry, but it's fine.
That you put into your players when you've got a set team, a set structure. Look, when I look at Arsenal fans, and me and Dan talk about this all the time, and it's not even a prediction anymore. It's been foreshadowed, like it's there. 1 week, it's like we're on top of the world. We're going to win the league. We're the best team in the world. We're coming for the Champions League. We're coming for everyone's next. And then the next week, it's like, when I see DT's videos now, I don't even laugh anymore because it's just the same. I saw him violating Willian, and I was like, I told you, like after the hat-trick, again, the hat-trick of assists against Fulham, I said, Willian, I said Willian has one good game. No, they said at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, I said Willian has one good game every 4 months. Yeah. That's literally what happened. He's gonna have another good game in Christmas, no doubt. He's gonna have a fantastic game, like one, but then won't have another good game till April, and that's what Willian has been like. Like Willian is just that kind of player. Obar playing on the left, it's a disgrace, man.
No more. I wanted to say that. So that's what I mean by change of formation.
This is a golden boot winner. This is a gold. You don't even have to change the formation. Just put him up front. Just put him up front.
Why is he being so for?
This is the key. This is what I'll tell you in it, and it's just a piece of advice. I said it to Lampard, and obviously Lampard heard me. Simplify the game. Rank your players 1 to 11, and just play your best team. And then the tactics will come through. Once Chelsea changed everything, Kante DM, Mount playing centre mid, wingers playing on the wing, a striker playing up front with good centre backs and full backs, we started winning. It's no surprise. Stop like making things complicated. Stop putting Saka centre mid, but then he's also a winger sometimes. Obar's helping Tierney out. Look, Tierney, people call him one of the best left backs in the league. I haven't seen him play left back. So
chill out. I'm not gonna
put him. Maybe, but I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen him play left back to know that. I mean, I think the only impressive person on your team, I think Gabriel will be very impressive.
Yeah,
if he Partey, yeah, of course, 100%. But like right now for Arteta, yeah, it's criminal because now people ask me, and a lot of people question me and ask me, do I have sympathy for him in regards to the Özil situation? And I say no, because he came out with his chest and said it was my decision to take Özil out of the squad. He didn't want to. He wanted to be the club's puppet man and say it was my decision. This, and that. And Özil is exactly what you're missing for Chelsea. For Chelsea's defenders to have more goals than Arsenal, the team. It's a joke, man, and
that's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing, and I don't even say this to banter you. Like everyone else is going to do the bantering. I'm just being real. Like Arsenal are going to be the same old Arsenal. When I said Arteta didn't improve the team last year, everyone said he didn't have a full season. Well, really and truly, he had more than enough time to get higher than 8th. But we'll park that under the bus. Now he has a full season, and you're looking shaky again. Let's see what happens going on, because now you've got Leeds
test.
You've got Leeds next away. You've got Wolves after that, and then you've got the North London derby. I don't know, man. It's worrying times.
Yeah, Alex, let's bring you in. Obviously, then Kish will come to you. You know, I'm assuming you're buzzing. Alex, you know, you had Arteta at Manchester City. To be fair, since Arteta has left us, I'm not even gassing. You have been a lot shitter. I'm not gonna lie.
I disagree. I think we were too conservative when Arteta was here. I think Arteta was always telling Pep to stop trying his crazy things, and
really,
yeah. Since we got this new assistant manager back, Peps lover, we've been playing so much better. Can I just say one thing about Arsenal? I still don't know how Lacazette is getting in that team.
I know, man. I know. I don't know how he's still in the team.
He's their top goal scorer. That's the joke. That's the joke.
3 goals, baby.
Honestly.
No, man.
The best thing for Arsenal, though, is definitely Gunnosaurus coming back. I mean, everyone can cheer that on, can't they?
I was an assist.
There's all the hero. Bring him back.
Oh God, Kish, let's bring you in, because obviously I know you've been waiting for this all week, really, innit? You know, what are your thoughts?
That's why he's here this week. That's why he's here. No other reason.
I'm here every week. The 3-3 West Ham draw was here. Don't worry, I take it.
All right.
But yeah, no, Mikel Pulis just turned up. Like, he turned up for the show. Do you know what I mean? Sat 7 at the back. You know, that solid El Neni and Partey midfield as well for that, you know, solidity. Against Aston Villa, made Barkley and Grealish look like prime Iniesta and Xavi. So yeah, no, honestly, it's a mess. I'll be honest, it is a mess. Last season covered the cracks. The truth of the matter is, Arsenal came 8th in the league, right? And then on top of that, they won the FA Cup, which covered the cracks. They won the Community Shield, which covered the cracks. Because this season, he got every one of his transfer targets by OR. That was the only transfer target that he didn't get. Now, if he knew that he wasn't going to be playing OZIL, which I assume he's known since the pandemic, because OZIL's not played, out of the 2 targets, although, listen, I can't deny Partey is a fantastic signing, and do you know what? A lot of teams have missed out on him. But out of the 2 signings, which would have been better at this current point in time? OR. 100% OR, because there's no creativity. But I'm just saying, there's no. But what I'm saying is, your problem isn't your defense. Obviously, you got battered 3-0 on the weekend, but that isn't your problem. You're not creating chances, and with you not creating chances, Ceballos isn't starting, so he's on the bench. Ozil's obviously non-existent. Again, we've repeated this conversation many times. But if you're not going to play your one attacking threat, which is Ceballos, then how can you expect Partey and El Neni to spray the ball around and create absolute madness like a Pogba or De Bruyne? You don't have that. And then the problem is he's just not playing his first 11. Daniel's issue with Frank Lampard at Chelsea was just play your best 11 and you will get it right. And that is what Lampard is now doing at Chelsea. And it's not, you don't need to be a fantastic manager to play your best players. Lampard's done that. Chelsea are getting results. Why is he then playing his best player, Aubameyang, on left wing? Why is he doing that? He looks upset.
Case just to throw in, obviously, he was there for the last 2 seasons and he's killed it. So
yeah.
I'm assuming Arsenal fans are going to reply with that.
But then
he finished
no, it wasn't
as a striker.
He was playing striker. So what I'm saying is, and then
but it was in the big games. It was in the big.
That's what I mean. And even you're hearing now, Pep. I think that Pepe this week has been complaining about not getting game time. And the thing is, the way he's treating Pepe is ridiculous. He plays in one game, starts him. He might not play the best, drops him to the bench, plays him another game. He does it, but this is what I mean. He doesn't give him any consistency at all. Another creative player, Reiss Nelson. He did well in Germany the season before last season. He plays in 2 games for about 65 minutes, drops him. You don't see Reiss Nelson ever again. Do you know? Maitland-Niles, same again. Plays 1 game, doesn't play well, takes him off for about 3-4 games. With his creative plays, he doesn't give them a lasting opportunity. Which, for me, if you're not gonna concede goals and you're not gonna score goals, then what are you gonna do? Do you know what I mean? What are you actually gonna do? Because at the moment, last season you could argue that Arteta didn't have the pressure because it's the first season. But this season, if he comes 8th this season with no trophy, how can you then say to me what he's done is better than what Emery's done? Arsenal fans used to say, "Oh, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for." Thank God Wenger's gone. Arsenal fans now.
I'll tell you what's done better. We got smacked up by Chelsea at Baku,
Listen,
and Ball getting the top 4. And obviously now.
But then this is.
But not in the final, bro. And obviously FA Cup is a different reaction.
Moose. I agree to that. But then that goes back to my debate with Daniel that we had a couple of weeks ago, where he was like, "So you would prefer losing 1-0 to a top team than getting battered like 6-2? A loss is a loss. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying."
100%.
So I as a fan, but this is what I mean though. Like for me, it makes no difference.
That's not me celebrating that might not losing 1-0 to Arsenal, right?
Exactly.
Saying, we only lost 1-0 instead of 4-0.
Yeah, that was a solid defensive loss. That was a solid defensive loss.
I didn't mention it was a penalty. I didn't mention none of these technicalities that you guys would brought up. Oh, might not scoring another penalty. Bruno Fernandes, all this bullshit. When Ollies scores a penalty, by the way, you've not scored enough play for over 6 hours. I mentioned that. When Ollies scores a penalty,
I've got a question though, Usmaan. I've got a question for Moose, right? So this season, right? If you come 8th and win no trophy, does that not justify Arteta getting the sack?
But obviously, surely, come on, he's not going to say no to that.
Would you still be happy to keep him for another season if he gets no European football and gets no trophy? Would you justify him being kept of his job at Arsenal? Can you justify that for me?
Yeah, listen,
Aubameyang could finish his career at Arsenal with no Champions League football, having never played.
That is so funny.
Who would they bring in if Arteta got the sack? There's no one on the market. I don't think that's good enough to manage Arsenal.
Lee Dixon.
Ozil's doing a decent job.
You know what I mean? For real.
Listen, Arteta is the most inexperienced manager in the Premier League.
You're the one saying he's elite. Like literally a week ago, you beat us.
Can I finish my sentence, bro? Before you, obviously, he's the most inexperienced manager, and he's already come out with 2 trophies. He's already shown positive signs of change. Yeah, chill out, fam. He's shown a lot of potential. So listen, So obviously, I ain't gonna drop the gun if he has one bad season after 1 full year. I'm not gonna be like, okay, you got the sack. I personally, where I see it, I don't want him 5 to 10 years down the line go to another club and smash it over there, and we were just a bit too quick to get rid of him. So obviously obviously, I will give him like another half season because he's already had 1 year and a half. I'll make it to 2 years, give him to like Christmas, and then see how it's going, how the season's going. And then obviously, from there, if he bottles there at the end of the season, it'll be like a clean goodbye. Do you know what I mean? I'll obviously, so it's one of them ones. I won't just get rid of him. But obviously,
I got a couple of comments here because obviously I've got to be non-biased in it. So, bro, you got banged by Palace and Tottenham at home. Ha ha ha. Okay, fair enough. Ali can take over Arteta. I think that's a good suggestion. Lawless, let's just regarding Arsenal situation. Obviously, I know you're good friends with Troops and Arsenal. You've got quite a lot of Arsenal mates that got quite a lot of Arsenal fans in the homies. What are your thoughts, bro?
I mean, first I want to talk about this Ozil thing because I think there's a perception, right, that okay, if you put Ozil into this team, Arsenal's problems are solved, and that's far from the case because the thing is, Ozil does not fit in an Arteta system. That is the problem. Is he doesn't do the off the ball work and all of them other things that Arteta likes to see, and when you've got someone like who's a more defensive-minded manager like Arteta, it doesn't give Ozil that license to go forward and create. He's not going to be having as much of the ball, and he's not going to be creating as much chances. So if you put Ozil in this team, nothing really is going to change. Maybe you get a couple more chances, a couple good balls here and there, but that's not the problem. It's the system, because the same way, even you look under Emery, yeah, and Ozil didn't exactly play a lot under Emery. Like all them games he played, didn't play under Emery, and that they scored a lot more goals under Emery than they did under Arteta, and they just played a different way of playing, a different system where that was more attacking, and that's how they. So it's the system that's the problem. If maybe if he changed up the system and then puts an Ozil in, then they can get more goals. But I think even if he just changes the system and becomes more positive, especially at home to Aston Villa, a team that scraped survival last season, you're going to set up like that. I mean, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, man. And we hear about
you couldn't do it. Just because you couldn't do it.
Listen. We came to your place and like I said, we was unlucky not to come away with 3 points. You Pulist us, mate. You Pulist us.
Whatever.
Like, and that's but this is the thing. Again, like Arsenal fans are a walking contradiction. Every time they contradict themselves. Like I said, it's trust the process, but then it's like, Arteta needs to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, and I hate this trust the process line. I hate it. It's another Arsenal gimmick. Like, I'm surprised they haven't got T-shirts for it. Like, they love their gimmicks, like their songs, their music videos with the likes of Party and just the overhyping. It's what me and Daniel talk about all the time. It's that every single signing is going to be the best player in the league in that position. Every time they set themselves up for a fall. Just wait and see what's going to happen. But we had Tim Cahill? Who was coming out and saying like, yeah, Arteta he's learning from his losses. Like when he loses, you can see he's learning from it. And what has he learned?
No, Dan. And why you bring up quickly? Sorry, Moose, you can go ahead. It's your team, I know. But why that video is so key is because everyone was getting onto Roy Keane and saying Tim Cahill was right in that video. But I was saying he's actually saying absolute nonsense because to say Arteta is learning from his mistakes is completely wide of the mark, in my opinion.
One win against a dead Man United team. Sorry, Usmaan, but it's true.
I'm not even going to say it.
And all of a sudden, it's like
where they sat back, and all of a sudden,
got a penalty.
Please, give me a break, man. Give me a break.
But this is it's not even just the fans. It's not even. This is the problem. It's not just the Arsenal fans. It's the media. It's every single time they get a decent result, the media start talking about Arteta this and Arteta that. You don't hear any other manager in football. They want it to be true.
It's Arsenal, but do you know what? Yeah, we've got the funniest fans on social media. Let's be real. We're very reactionary, so obviously anything that the media says, we're gonna act like that. But can I say one thing though? Yeah, I don't like how everyone's saying that Arteta is a defensive-minded coach. You need to kick back, kick back, And let me remind you, when he first came in, he was doing a 4-3-3 formation. It wasn't that defensive, and then obviously he does not trust the defenders. It's as simple as that.
That's an excuse.
The bigger question.
That is an excuse. It's not an excuse,
man. Listen, you man was slating David Luiz, and I said, obviously he's suspect in 4 in the back. Put him in 5 in the back is a different David Luiz, and obviously. William Saliba, we have to ask, like, if you want to actually criticize Arteta, you should criticize his decision making in Xing my man out of the squad, as well as Ozil, because obviously you can't say this for football reasons, but obviously I'm not gonna get into that because there's a lot of political opinions surrounding that. But obviously he had to adapt with a shit.
But why don't Klopp do that then? With all these injuries, losing Van Dijk and Klopp was
struggling. He was struggling more when he first inherited.
But Liverpool. why ain't he playing like Big Sam ball? Like, why ain't he sitting there and parking the bus?
I'll tell you what the problem is. With what Ahmed just said, because not all those guys here, and we're gonna move on now. I'm just gonna say this last thing. We're not the ones who rate your players. You and the Arsenal fans come to us and say X, Y, and Z is world class. And then now, all of a sudden, this shit when you're losing. So which one is it?
You was cussing out Chelsea when you got Luis, man. You can't complain about Luis.
You said the good. We didn't say the good. You said William's good. You said Jack is good. You said X. I said this shit. All of them. Apart from like a couple of your players, you and all the Arsenal fans are the ones.
Jackie didn't play.
You said to Chelsea fans, you took Chelsea's best defender when you signed Luis. Come on, man. Come on. Now it's all of a sudden like
chill out. David Luiz, listen here. These are all it's a whole bargain. Whole bargain shopping. Whole bargain players.
Phil Jones.
All right, chill out, man.
Phil Jones.
Listen, Rojo and Christensen are available if you need to.
Big Phil Jones. Big Phil Jones.
Let's move on to My United quickly. Because for some reason we're linked to Ronaldo. I don't know what's going on. But just very briefly, obviously, Ollie's job got saved by Bruno Fernandes. Alex, I'll pass it to you. I know how much you hate Man United. So, you know, what
I hate them with a passion. I love that's why I love living in Manchester, because there's so many Man United fans in Manchester. I've never seen so many. Normally you see them down in London, but suddenly they're in Manchester as well. I just love to hate them. I mean, fair play to Bruno Fernandes. What was it? 2 assists and a goal.
Yeah, two goals and assists, 2 goals.
Yeah. He makes your team, but I tell you what, your defense still looks proper shaky. That first goal, Harry Maguire, I thought he was meant to be big, and he tries to jump up, it just goes straight over his head. It's not about that. I mean, I know what, I'm surprised that Lacazette was still at Arsenal. I'm surprised that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still at Man United. How has he conned Ed Woodward into this? You need to, every Man United fan, I know they all want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, but they really need to get him out, because he's just spineless, isn't he? He's too nice. He ain't got anything in him. He ain't got anything about him. They're just crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anything else? Listen. Just to add, you've said all that right, and I've allowed you to, waffle on for a bit. Manchester's still red because Ollie, the spineless manager, slapped your manager twice last season. As well, so he might be shit, but he's got Peps.
That's charity, then. That's charity from Peps.
Peps in his back pocket, man. Allow that, with crap, because I don't know what that makes. But listen, Bruno saved his job in it. Obviously, this is probably the funniest win we've had, because the amount of rival fans that texted me saying "fucking getting you won" is unreal. Because obviously, if we lost, it looks like we were going to get sacked, to be honest. But Kitch will bring you in. Firstly, what are your thoughts on the performance? And I don't even know what to say, because we're dead either way. We're not going anywhere there. But
it's to be honest, it's typical Ollie. When he's under pressure and you feel like he's going to get sacked next game, he seems to turn up out of nowhere. The players just think, all right, we've got to play now. We've actually got to do the miles. So we've now got to make an effort. And I wouldn't be surprised if you win the next few games. I would not be surprised.
It'd be so typical.
It'd be so typical for you guys to win the next. Literally, it would not be a shock. But in all seriousness, listen. Get the job done. It's clear that you've been linked to Poch. Get Poch. January is not far. It's only 5, 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
Give him a proper transfer window to put his kind of tactics and ethos in place. And I feel this way. It's the worst thing about this whole thing.
That sums up. Man has 9 lives.
Yeah. Literally, I feel like the worst thing about this whole situation is I feel like Ollie needs to walk away. I feel like him getting sacked by the club, for him, I think it doesn't ruin his legacy as a player for Man United, but I feel like it's just one of those where if he doesn't walk out himself for the better of the club, I feel like the fans are going to get even more against him and not think about the player that he actually was. Because let's be honest, he was a great player for United and had a great service. But I feel like fans now are so fickle, so fickle. And I think for you as a Man United fan, the last thing you'd want to think of if Ollie as a manager and how poor he was as a manager for United, rather than the player that he was.
He wasn't even a great player. He wasn't even a great player.
No, I disagree.
No, on the Champions League, you relax. Right, Ahmed, obviously, I'll allow you to have your say on United. Obviously, one shit manager to another. What are your thoughts?
Wow, Arteta is still world class. Shut your mouth up. That's what. Listen,
World class.
Listen, obviously, I'm just discussing.
He's joking.
Obviously,
okay.
Obviously, he's not dead wood, bro. He's top tier still, and I mean that. But obviously, Ollie, he was stressed in that interview. What was going on? That was a mental health breakdown, bro. That was a breakdown right there.
He was right about that, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, regardless of what you think, he was talking about the fixture congestion. Did you know what?
I get that, but isn't everyone else going through that?
We came back on Thursday from Turkey, right? Thursday evening, like 3-4 p.m. And then we got a game at 12:30 against an Everton team away from home. Like, how is that fair? Just, like,
I appreciate that, but obviously you don't break down like that. Also, Wenger went through that a lot of times.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of managers.
Though. He can complain like that if we win. If he
no,
does,
I get it. That's
that.
And a lot of you man would have just been at him. Do you get me? So obviously,
I
kind of feel for him. Do you get me? Like, but at the same time, like, his job is proper. Like, you know what I mean? It's a hot seat right now for him. And obviously, all the boys, the mandem, they all turned up for you guys. Did a job for him. Bruno Fernandes smashed it. It's not just it wasn't just Fernandes that day. You know what I'm saying? He did quite well. I think also would benefit if you had him, but it's one of them ones. So obviously,
but to be fair,
can't hate.
Bruno was scoring, not Bruno, Aubameyang was scoring goals this season. So obviously, when he scores from
listen. Since you like talking about Arsenal, we might as well just continue. All I say is, put Aubameyang in the middle, put Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, like I did last time. I might see a different thing in it.
Nah, trust the process, Moose. Trust the process.
That is part of the process, bro. Aubameyang,
in Arteta we trust. In Arteta we trust.
Oh my God!
This guy, please.
This is going to be so funny. I swear to God, Keith, you're going to get smart.
Trust me.
You'll never see me again. You'll never ever see me again.
You have to turn up.
Daniel, just quickly on Man United, because obviously it's, we're kind of irrelevant at the moment. So, your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, speaking to my guys, I just said, like, really and truly, if you're gonna sack him, you have to sack him now during the international break. It doesn't really look like you're going to. So it's just one of them ones where you just got to stick with him, really, and just see what happens. Like, I think everyone knows. Like, you've done it. I've watched all your videos on it. Like, everyone knows the problems at United, whether it be the Glazers, whether it be Ollie, the problems, the root causes. Right now, you're just in a situation where you've got the players you have. So let's just deal with it. Like, let's just see what happens. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, can't really.
I was about to say it is what it is, but there's too many. Obviously, I don't want to go into the Pogba thing because it'll be here for ages, and the Ronaldo thing as well. Don't want to go into that either because again, it's just waffling it. Right, let's move on to West Ham, and then we'll finish on Chelsea beating our local team Sheffield United 4-1. Right, Lawless, coming to you. I spoke to you briefly, but what were your thoughts on performance? Another good win for West Ham, really. Points on the board, etc. You're above us as well. So, you must be doing something right because we're brilliant, aren't we?
I mean, look, all I say is this: it was hard to break them down until Ben Rama came on. Ben Rama, he is gonna be, if I could channel my inner Arsenal, he is gonna be the best player in the world. He's gonna do it, golden boot.
Just like Anderson. Yeah.
Listen. I didn't hype up. I never hyped up Anderson. Yeah, I didn't hype him up. I admit when I don't know things. Yeah, I admit it. I'm like Arsenal fans. I admit when I don't know things. Okay, but what I do know is Ben Rama came on and he started to make things happen. He started to help us in terms of breaking them down and, like I said, creating chances and things like that. And I think he could be the key when we're playing against teams like that. Maybe he's not going to be in there when we come to play like Man City's again and all of them type of teams, them teams that are just going to be dominating. Maybe Ben Rama, is on the bench for that, and we played the teams that we did play. But Ben Rama, when we were playing against them teams, like him and again, like Ale, like I felt sorry for him because the balls that we was putting in. I watched the Chelsea game early, and I think I must have been saying this to Daniel about Ziyech. Yeah, it's like imagine, what Ale's like would be licking his lips, like drooling over the balls that Ziyech is putting in, and like flipping. Jared Bowen had a poor game, man, and he's putting in like overhitting every cross, and he's just sitting there, and then like he's getting slated like week after week. I hope he smashes it for Ivory Coast and he just bags a hat trick and things like that.
We've got a question for you, mate, from Benji. How long can you guys keep Bowen and well, you've just got Ben Rama, but it is what it is.
Well, you have to see because like they have to get obviously to the point. If they're doing if they're lighting the Premier League up, then obviously it puts a bit of pressure on. But it's a tough one because you look at the Payet. Yeah, Payet was one of the best players in the league at the time, and the only reason we lost him, we lost him to Marseille, and that was because of him getting people pregnant that he's not supposed to be getting pregnant, basically. So, look, I don't think it's a situation where we have to sell players super quick. Obviously, Chelsea have been trying to come in for Declan Rice. Daniel's confident they're going to get him in January. We'll have to see about that. The money has to be right. If all of a sudden, Daddy Roman finds another spare 100 mil down the back of the city,
He's not that good. He's not that good, though, is he? He's not worth the money.
Listen. John Stones,
exactly. John Stones in that position is better than Declan Rice.
He's not El Nani.
Yes, he is.
No way.
He's not El Nani. He's not El Nani. You pay more money for El Nani, innit,
I will admit, I told Dan this as well. I personally don't think Rice is. I personally don't think Rice is 80 million. That's just my opinion, of course.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We have to go by the market because he's worth more than Harry Maguire. I'm sorry, he's a better player than Harry Fridge Maguire. I'm sorry, he offers you so much.
It's not
bad. He's smashed it on the weekend.
Whoa. Why is Alex and
I think he is.
Defensive? Your defense is on white.
He's got a higher ceiling. He's got a higher ceiling.
You spend about 5 million on your defense.
Don't try it. Don't try it, Usmaan.
No. Now we've got big muscle man Diaz. Our defense is solved. We've got $1.5 million as well now.
Hey, listen, we've got the Brazilian Gabriel Magalhães. What you know about him?
Playing beside Holden, who couldn't even hold his cup, let alone the defense.
Listen, this is why we're a bit indecisive about sending to Newcastle or not. You know what I'm saying? We're upfront about it. We're upfront. He's on trial. What do you say?
Nah, what I'm gonna say, you just have to go by the prices. Some of the prices some other players are going by. And look, I'm not saying that he is a 80 million or whatever pound player. No, but this is how much in the market we should be. This is how much we should be taking for him.
If Arsenal spent 70 million on a guy that sits on the bench, then he
probably exactly. Exactly.
Don't
flipping tap dancer.
Stay in your corner. Stay in your lane, bro. You guys are the ones that.
Listen.
How much is it on? How much is it, Di Maria?
You're on the same lane. You're on the same lane.
No. We rarely spend big. We rarely spend big.
Look how much money you put into Arteta.
You just bought Barkley for 50 million.
Yeah. So what? We don't move like that often, bro. It's not the recent times we've been doing that. Chill out, bro. Nah.
Looking at only recent times. Lacazette was like 50 million. Aubameyang.
That's it. 70 million that's a world record for us. What about you, man? Right, 100 million on that, 80 million on Maguire. Chill out, man. Chill out.
That's 2 players. You finished 8. Anyways, we're going off topic. Right. Let's come back to West Ham. Obviously, Kish, from your perspective, what are your thoughts? And of course, we're going to talk about Lookman, innit? Do you know what I mean? Man's apologies, as we already mentioned prior to the quiz, but
to be fair, though, on a side note, I'm going to do a rare thing. Fair play to David Moyes. I can't lie to you. I never actually thought I'd say this, I'll be honest. But since United, his career's been a bit of a shambles. He was in Sociedad, didn't really do much. Had a couple of Premier League moves, didn't really do much. So at West Ham, you know, he only had a contract till the end of last season. So fair play to the guy. You know, he's got the results that he needed. Antonio, for me, has been the biggest revelation from a winger to an out-and-out striker. Yeah, it's just ridiculous thinking that at one point he was playing right back. You know, he's that good up front. And he can finish, which is the big thing up front. You know,
and we didn't even have him against Fulham either.
Exactly, and he did what Andy Carroll did for West Ham, but he can get the ball at the back of the net on a consistent basis. That's the difference, and you've got to rate. I think Moyes has to be the person you've got to give credit for making that sort of decision, you know. And then signing the likes of Berama and Bowen, West Ham now have a team from back to front where they not only have a decent first 11, they have a decent squad. You know, if you look at their bench, it's a decent bench with the players that they have. So fair play to the guy. But in terms of what was your question entirely?
Lookman and Fulham.
Yeah, Lookman. To be fair, he's a young lad. Listen, I really want to support the guy because he's 19, 20 years of age, but it's one of those where I feel like it can only go one way, and I feel like with the lad, he has to learn from that. I'm sure Scott Parker, having him at Tottenham for a couple of years, he doesn't seem like the sort of manager that you want to get on the bad side of, I'll be honest. I feel like he definitely gave him a go, and I'm sure all the players did as well afterwards. And it's just something he's got to learn from, and the only way he can is if Fulham get a penalty again. I feel like he has to be the one that needs to take it, and he has to be the one that kind of. But he has to. No, but he has to because Mitrovic. He's missed pens, so Mitrovic this season has missed like one or two pens as well. So I feel like the only way he can overcome that is by being in that situation again. Because otherwise, the fans are always going to be on it. Well, that's the thing. It's, you know, make or break. I remember for England when was it Stuart Pearce where he missed a penalty for England in the penalties, and then a couple of years later came back and did it, and you could see the passion from him, and it made him, you know, better as a player. And I feel like for Lookman, you know, he needs to have another opportunity at it, and hopefully this time, you know, it'll be better for him.
Right. Okay. Ahmed, just last thoughts on West Ham. I've got to ask you this because it's related to both of you lot, actually. You know, Jack Wilshere coming out recently saying what he said about West Ham.
You know what?
I'm not taking the piss.
Yeah, no. That video.
Would you take him back? Would you take him back? Firstly, and secondly, you know, basically he practically sacked up West Ham, said he's too good for a minute. You know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's trying to get himself a Spurs contract by the sound of things. Kisha's going to be having him in his midfield.
He'll never do that to us. Obviously, first of all, first of all, yeah, I have to bow out on this, innit? Because first of all, I've not actually watched the Wilshere interviews on my watch.
He's wank.
He's wank. It's not wank. He is not wank. Shush.
Would you take him back? That's
the injury. I personally would. I didn't like that he left. But I was all for the change that Emery was going to bring at the time, and we just a team without midfielders. We lost our identity, which was passing football. You know what I mean? But no, I will definitely have him back, but I need to watch that interview so I actually know what's been said. And secondly,
he just thinks he's like Prime Iniesta basically when he's been in.
Yeah, pretty much. He's proper arrogant.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's
No. On the back of that, this guy though, he's tech is on the ball, isn't it? His only problem was obviously he's always injured, doesn't really get to like a run a game.
Never.
That's why, but I'm talking about his football capability. The reason why us Arsenal fans used to back him and get gassed over him. Man. Oh, that was an incredible game. Incredible.
Wow. Well, Tommy had a good game against Barcelona. I don't mean his.
Nah, it is.
Anyways, right.
Prime Messi.
We're going to go to the last game, which of course is Chelsea beating Sheffield United. You know, obviously we're from Sheffield, so we kind of can give the perspective of Sheffield United, and we let Daniel have his say from Chelsea's perspective. You know, Alex, what do you reckon from Sheffield United? Because at the moment, it looks like they're set for relegation, really, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sad state of affairs, really, isn't it? It's you can see the hearts in it. It's just at stuff like corners and set pieces, they just look so manic. Every time that ball comes into the box, they're all just like throw it. I mean, you should throw all your limbs at it, but they're just completely missing the ball every time. I mean, Ziyech as well. You have to commend Ziyech. He tore apart Sheffield United. I don't know how other teams didn't go in for him. But
Look at Daniel's smile.
He's Chelsea's new Hazard. It has to be said. But I don't know. I still. Do you see that great tackle from Basham in the game? That was the only. I mean, apart from the Sheffield United goal, which was a lovely move, I think those are the only two good moments. I mean, you can also give credit to keeper as well. I thought he had an excellent game, even at 4-1. He kept them at 4-1. It could have easily been 7.
Yeah, it does look like they're missing Jack O'Connor massively. Of course, going forward as well, they don't really offer much. But as you've already mentioned, Daniel, I know you've been waiting. Ziyech, to be fair, I've said from day one, this guy is going to be your best player. I don't understand why he's so cheap, and the way he rinsed Spurs in Champions League and when they're on that unbelievable run, and just in general, man, the guy's been about and he's been killing it. So I'll give the floor to you, Daniel. Like, what are your thoughts, man? Finally, is clicking.
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't even know if that. Look, let me say this: that Sheffield United game, yeah, last year we would have lost that game, hand for a fact, because we just didn't have. There was something about us where
when you drew to him and you lost to him 3-0 last season.
Exactly. So
2-2
yeah,
and 3-0 if I'm not mistaken.
when we went 1-0 down, like how I knew, like I'm not gonna say we're back yet, because at the end of the day, Sheffield United are 20th, but how I know things have changed is we went 1-0 down. I wasn't even worried. You know, back in the day when United would go 1-0 down, Usmaan. Like, and
I wasn't worried against Everton. I knew we were winning that game. This shit.
No, but I'm even saying during the title-winning seasons, like you just knew we're gonna come back. Like exactly, I had that feeling. Like it was just that aura about the Chelsea team. I mean, Ziyech had so many things. Yeah, there's so many things to talk about with Ziyech, but the one thing I'm going to talk about is the first goal. So the Tammy goal, the ball he plays to Kovacic has been the missing ingredient. When I play football and when I play even pro clubs, let's talk about all types of football. Yeah, I always say the pass before the assist is the key pass. As in that pass is what. I'm not fucking but yeah, like that pass is so important. Like that's what opens up the defense and gets everyone being frantic, because you're like
Bruynes,
exactly.
It's playing like a few seasons ago when we were just carving open teams. It was like literally like that.
Yeah. Literally, like you'd carve open the team, and then it's literally across the and then do you get what I'm saying? And that's the ball every team needs. And I think a good coach takes Bruno Fernandes and makes him play those balls rather than always.
Bruno can't hit a long pass, you know. I've noticed that about him.
I think if a good coach comes in, he becomes a different type of player. Like I think Bruno, rough that. But yeah, Ziyech, it's just quality, and then the way he links up with Reece James on the right, and then the rest of the attack. I think Tammy Abraham. I just want us to be careful in saying Tammy should now start. I think Tammy
should not start for you.
I think Tammy, the role Tammy has now, coming off the bench or when someone's injured in the front line, comes into the team, perfect for him. Like I don't even mind. Like it's good. And then you've got Pulisic coming back. You've got Werner. Werner's not even having great performances, but he's still scoring. That goes to show that we're making chances. He's deadly when it comes to his finishing. Like you can't give Werner 2 chances. If he misses the first one, make sure you don't give him another one. And to think that we won that game so convincingly without Pulisic, without Havertz, Kante looking like the Kante of old. Like I told everyone was saying he's on a decline, and I told people don't be too quick to judge him. He's still the same guy, and he's looking solid. Thiago Silva, man, Usmaan, how many times have I got to say it? Thiago Silva.
I'm gonna say it right now, right?
Yeah.
One of the people.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna be honest, because I genuinely thought he'd flop, and he still can. Don't get me wrong, but I've got to say, at the moment, I couldn't be further from wrong if I tried.
I told you.
Fucking quality. I've always been a fan of his, though. That's the thing. I love the guy.
He looks...
because of his age. That's why I thought...
And I was telling everyone, like, the perfect centre-back isn't really available for us this season. But Thiago Silva brings an experience and a leadership. It's telling, because I watched an interview recently, and he was basically talking about the Premier League and its style, the defending and everything. And he was basically like, his inspiration or his experience comes from playing with guys like Nesta and playing with the elite defenders. Like we don't see those defenders anymore, basically. And it just tells me that he's just a level above. And in my honest opinion, and anyone could disagree.
I know what you're going to say as well. He's the best in the league.
No, he's the second best. I still think Van Dijk's. I still think Van Dijk's the best.
I mean, Ruben Diaz, Laporte.
Oh, please, man. Laporte has an argument, maybe. But not Ruben.
You forgot about Gabriel Magalhaes as well.
Of Thiago Silva, yeah, age. He's just so wise. He knows he's a step.
Daniel loves him. I feel like you're gonna go on for ages.
I could go on forever. Yeah,
He's gonna jizz very soon.
I've never seen you this happy, man. Okay.
Nah, it's great, man. Beautiful.
It's good to see you smile, but hopefully you won't be smiling after next game. But I mean, no, I'm joking. And Keith, yeah, what are your thoughts on Chelsea? They do look very good at the moment.
Yeah, couple of things. Don't get me wrong; they've been performing. You know, since he's played his best players in their right position. You know, they've got results. Thiago's in the team. They look defensively solid. Mendy has been a massive signing, and I think 18 million they're signing for.
The most
important. Yeah, and I saw when they were trying to sign him that it was due to Petr Cech. Petr Cech basically was the one that scouted Mendy from.
I'm gonna have to fucking go in there.
Literally from his former club as well. So Petr Cech has a massive saying in terms of signing Mendy. The only reservations that I have is a couple. First and foremost, in terms of challenging for the league, they need to keep the spine of the team fit. Mendy needs to be fit because the drop-off is ridiculous from Mendy to Kepa. It's a madness. It's a mad. Thiago Silva needs to be fit because if Thiago Silva's not fit, the drop-off there is
Chilwell as well. It's the same.
Yeah, and also the other big one is keeping everyone happy. Like you mentioned, in that game against Sheffield United, who was it? Did Werner play or Werner did not play? Havertz didn't play. Pulisic didn't play. There's a couple of other players as well that haven't played. Hudson-Odoi. You know, there's so many quality players that Chelsea have that to keep them all happy is a challenge in itself. That won't be the easiest. And I think finally, we need to see once you play someone of a decent quality. So you've got Chelsea versus Tottenham. I think is it next week?
Are you
the week after?
Yeah, the week after. Yeah, obviously top quality in it. 6-1. Never forget. What I'm saying is that's the game.
We lose 6-1 at Old Trafford.
That is the game. That is the game. That 6-1 is a trophy in it with the Audi Cup.
It is.
But what I'm saying is this will be the game, Chelsea versus Spurs, where we'll truly get to see where both teams' targets are going to be at the end.
We'll do a preview for that next weekend. Is that the next weekend? Next weekend.
Yeah, 21st, I think.
Week after.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
International rate.
Mine and Lawrence's big heavyweight clash for mid-table as well. Right, Lawrence, just to give your say that Ahmed will allow you to finish the show. I know I've not done Spurs case, but we haven't got much time.
We just got big teams here, innit?
Sorry, was it 3-0 Villa? Yeah, 3. Oh yeah.
Go back to mute. Just mute.
What were your thoughts on Chelsea, bro?
Nah, I mean, what can I say? Ziyech, he's no Willian, but he's something special.
No, you've got to start it now, innit?
He's a good up and comer, as my good friend Robbie would say. He's up and coming, but he's not there yet. Chelsea. It looks like my prediction for Chelsea to be second is still on. It's on the cards. A lot of people laughed at me when I said that. My friend literally rolled over dying of laughter. It doesn't look so funny now because Chelsea have looked very...
What did you say? Liverpool third?
Third. Liverpool third. Man City first. That's looking
more likely with goals.
For real, like that's...
It's like you must have taken some seen into the future with all these issues.
Yeah. That's looking on the cards. So, yeah, there probably still a few key signings from really, really, like, you know, being serious challenges, like pushing the league and being where they want to be, like, because like you guys were saying earlier about injuries, but still like very, very impressive. And yeah, let's see how they turn up against the harder, the more difficult sides. And it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, when they face Tottenham. There's always that whole Mourinho circus around, I used to be the Chelsea manager and that, and obviously
that's going to be a great game. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, they play up to that, so it's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Kish, I think your Bale shirts. Actually, I've got it, so I'll make sure it's that game minute. So it's so good.
Mate, if Bale scores, Daniel, you are finished. I'll be honest, you are finished.
I mean,
like
it's only going to take.
You're going to have to block me on Twitter. I can't lie. You're going to have to fully block me. I'll be honest.
I think Chelsea are going to win that. I think Chelsea are going to
win as well. Like, I just think the Tottenham. Obviously, we're not going to speak about Tottenham, but with Tottenham, as good as they're playing as well, that defense isn't the greatest defense. Let me be honest. Like that defense is not great. So yeah, we'll see.
It's not quite Ruben Diaz, is it, Alex? It's not quite.
No, I mean, how much pace have Tottenham got? I know it's a bit off topic. How much pace have Tottenham got? They never use it. They got Son, Bale, Kane. They use
Nah, we
space.
Nah, we definitely use some.
They abuse sound space galore like FIFA and that, but it is what it is. You got to do it, man. Right, I mean, final say, obviously, you know, you've seen a team in Chelsea that actually look like they're in a process, you know. So, what are your thoughts?
You know what? Yeah, banter aside, yeah. Obviously, I can't hate on Chelsea. I did call them out. They're going to be on like part of the title race, and they're looking like they're worth the money now. Obviously, they're the club that spent the most money in the summer, so you kind of expected a little something to happen. So the chemistry, the magic's starting to happen. Werner, I think, was it you, Dan, who said it? Yeah. Werner sort of player, if he just gets that one goal, he'll start continuing to score. It was like 4 goals in a row now, isn't it?
No, I did say that. Yeah, it's true.
You did. I remember that. Yeah. So obviously, like Chelsea, I can't even because that's why I didn't come at Chelsea this summer, because I knew them on, you know, I mean, they can actually, like, you know, they can back it, and they are backing it so far, but it's still early in the season. I'm not gonna, like, you know what I mean, but Sheffield United, I feel for them. Like, you know, I do not want them to be part of the relegation battle, and if they are, I want them to stay. Chill out. Wednesday fans are salty. You're bottom of the championship right now, and you chill out, bro. I got no hate against Wednesday. I got no hate against Wednesday, but still,
I'll be wearing my Tevez mask.
Yeah,
listen, man.
Oh God, they look like they're gonna go down as it stands, and let's be real.
Obviously, I don't want it to happen. That's why it's a bit sad seeing that, especially with the McGoldrick's goal in it. That both goals were beautiful goals that he scored this season. Yeah. So obviously, I want them to like fight for it. You know what I mean? It's not. I will not write them off.
It's the fact that there's no fans. It makes a massive difference.
It does.
Imagine a corner at the Sheffield United ground. The opposition would absolutely shit themselves. You're literally just defending with no fans. There's no point.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's the fans are the tough man.
It's probably why West Ham are doing so well, isn't it? They've got no fans.
How can a City
Listen, Man City, settle down, Man City fan. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
No, but not gonna lie. The Etihad is what's it called? It's so quiet. It's a funeral.
Yeah, it's so quiet.
It's so quiet.
It's because we're all in awe of what's going on. It's just poetry in motion.
Yeah, and don't you come out and say anything about quiet moves, because the Emirates is the library. That's the original library.
I know.
You
know we miss the Highbury. We miss Highbury.
Kind of dead as well. So
From Highbury to the library.
Obviously, take your time with it.
They don't even let you stand up. Like, honestly, God, they actually don't let you stand up in Old Trafford. Every time I stood up, they make me sit down. So what's the point?
I've been to quite a few stadiums. I think the best stadium is, for me anyway, was the King Power. King Power was great for me.
Lawless, actually, I've just remembered something. No, when you played,
I don't know Sheffield, do they?
Last season, when you scored was it West Ham scored last kick again, when he got ruled off offside. Declan Rice won.
Yeah.
I was behind the net, right? So I'm behind above the West Ham fans, right? And they've scored. I think Declan Rice got penalised for something. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
I think it was that dumb handball rule or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, so West Ham scored literally last kick a game. And I'm a West Ham fan, right? And obviously they hate Sheffield United for the Tevez situation, isn't it? And all the West Ham fans just ran onto a pitch, basically, giving it all this bigger than that. Like, loads of them, like, it was about a good 3,000 fucking over the barricades, everything. And then all of a sudden, VAR ruled it off.
For a dumb reason.
It was definitely
dumb reason.
Crazy, yeah. But listen, the Bramley Lane atmosphere is absolutely sick. I'm not even gonna lie.
And Sheffield Wednesday.
Fuck them, man. I don't give a shit. Gotta
keep it real, bro. Gotta keep it real, fam.
Wednesday's atmosphere is dead.
Exactly, Alex. Anyways, on that note, I just want to say a massive thank you to our guests. As always, we will be back next Thursday. But as you can see, Lawless, Kish, and Daniel will also hopefully be back for the quiz on Monday as well. because these ones are going to redeem themselves because Mans took a huge L.
Nah, listen, Daniel, I thought, he was the captain, but at the same time, I trust the process. I back the captain, and we go forward.
Yeah, we move.
Not gonna lie.
I swear, no one have a call for you next time. I'll come in for
Not
you.
gonna lie, 2 things. The quiz here is all about margins, and 2, we have to do better at cheating. I'm not gonna say people are cheating, but I don't know, man. It's easy. It's easy to quickly search something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That is a good point.
Too honest.
Some of them were suspect. I must admit.
some of them were suspect.
How many points did Leicester win the league? How many points did Leicester win the league by? 10. I'm just guessing, but it's 10.
I'm just guessing. But
I'm just guessing.
Them precise guesses.
The first Champions League final. Paris. It must be Paris.
Kiss, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to be
Come on, man.
The quiz will be back on Monday. It's going to be fired.
Bullshit.
Mm.
You know what the funny thing